Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to today's video where I had a little delivery from Lisa Eldridge, and it was full of her new liquid Lurex eyeshadows, which I ordered only on Friday. I think at 4 o'clock they went live and they're already here, so I'm going to be swatching the 3 shades I picked up, showing you them on my eyes and seeing how I like them. So if you're interested in these liquid eyeshadows from Lisa, then keep watching. So I picked up 3 shades. I was a little on the fence about Liza. It's not really my type of typical shade that I'm drawn to, but I wanted to try something a bit different and show you guys probably one of the more exciting, interesting shades of the collection. The 2 I was excited for are Bianca and Anjelica. So these are the 3 I picked up: Bianca, Anjelica and Liza. 2 that are kind of like in my comfort zone and 1 that's a bit of a wild card. So these are described by Lisa as an easy to use eye embellishment which you'll see through the party season and beyond. A flattering formula that is both creamy and lightweight. The liquid Lurex eyeshadow has a lustrous wet look finish with durable shine that disco diva dreams are made of. Each of the 5 effortlessly blendable shades contain a mirrorball blend of multicolored pearls that dance across the lids. So Lisa recommends that you apply the liquid Lurex directly to the eyelid with your applicator and then blend it out immediately with fingertips or a brush for a sparkling wash of colour. You can also build them up, use a very thin layer for a more subtle effect, or build them up to full opacity. She also recommends using them as an eyeliner, either with a small liner brush or just blended under the lash line. And as usual with Lisa's brand, these are cruelty-free, vegan and free from parabens, talc, fragrance and silicone. So there you have it. Let's have a little look at the packaging and then we'll get on with some swatches. So here is the component, and it unscrews, and inside there is that doe foot applicator. It's quite nice and flat, which looks great for layering the product quite quickly on the lid, and also a slightly curved tip. Perfect again for like getting right into the crease and the lower lash line as well. So the first shade is Anjelica. This is described as a smoky topaz taupe with sparkling dimensions of silver, gold, violet green and gold pearls. A lot going on in there. Next up we have Bianca. Bianca is described as a sweet blushing minky heather with sparkling notes of silver, pink, green and lavender pearl. And finally we have Liza. And Liza is described as an intense charcoal shot through with silvery flashes of stardust combined with a heady mix of magenta, violet, blue, green and disco ball silver pearls. So you can see actually when swatched there's a big difference between Bianca and Anjelica. Actually a lot more different than I might have anticipated. So we have Anjelica, Bianca and Liza. Beautiful, very, very high shine, catching that light stunningly. So let's not waste any more time. I'm going to whack these on the lids and see how they look actually on the eye. So I'm going to start off with Liza just because I'm feeling bold. I'm feeling brave today. And I know that I don't want this one to stay on for the rest of the day. I'm going to try all 3 shades today. This is the one I'm the least confident with. So that, I mean, that really has some pigment, doesn't it? I think as Lisa said, you need to work quite quickly because it is going to set down, and hopefully that's what's going to stop it from creasing if it is nicely set down. So I'm just kind of tapping that in with a finger, and then I'm going to get my fluffy Rephr brush. This is the 01, and I'm just going to go around the edges to give that a bit of a blend. I think these will be perfect sort of one and done shadows, but maybe some of them, depending on your preference, you may want a bit of bronzer in the crease, or you may want to use them with some other palettes to get like a more complete look. But I think the lighter shades will be absolutely perfect as a one and done shadow. So there we have that first shade, Liza. It was very easy to work with. Got that pigment beautifully, went where I wanted it to, blended out very nicely. But yes, it definitely did dry down quite quickly. So you will need to work nice and fast. Otherwise it is going to be like where you placed it, you're going to struggle to move it after that first initial dry down has happened. So yeah, you are going to need to work quickly. Okay, now on this eye, I'm going to try Bianca. So let's do that same technique again. I think this time I'm going to wipe the doe foot off and try for a more softer wash of colour initially and see how these layer up. So I'm just applying a really thin layer to begin with. I wipe that doe foot almost completely off and just a real soft application there. Because these should be nice and versatile as Lisa described them. So that is just completely subtle, barely there, bit of a wash of colour, wash of shimmer, very pretty. And now I'm going to just build that up, build up the intensity and the opacity of that. So we can see how easily these will go from sort of day to night, office to disco. That's obviously something that lots of people probably after at the moment with these Christmas office parties, although for lots of people maybe that won't be a possibility this year, sadly, but we can all dream, can't we? Dream of an office party and embarrassing ourselves in front of the boss. Who misses those days? So there you have a much more sort of built up intensity of that one. I mean, that's just so pretty, isn't it? That's a very me shade, very, very pretty, catches the light so beautifully. So here we have Liza and Bianca. That is, I mean, much more my cup of tea than Liza. I think Liza's just a bit too intimidating for me. I much prefer a lighter, prettier, softer shimmer. It's exactly as described, so reflective, very wet looking, gorgeous, very, very pretty. I could just admire the reflection all day, to be honest. So just giving you a super close up now of those two colours. I'm maybe going to intensify Liza a bit as well because I want to see the full effect for anyone particularly looking for the drama. This is going to be the shade that's going to offer that, I think. So, oh yeah, now we're getting that full effect of that shimmer. Sort of gunmetal shade. Made a bit of a mess there, but definitely not a pro at working with these types of shadows for sure. Very easily cleaned up though. We just go over that with a bit of concealer. Oh, see, that's now just stunning. The reflect in that is so pretty. I would definitely wear this on a night out. It's not kind of my go-to type of shade for every day, but it certainly gives some really easy, like smoky eye. I mean, you could just do this a bit under the lower lash line and you've got like a perfect smoky eye. I'm not going to clean this up too much because I'm going to apply the third shade. So, but they certainly built up very, very easily on themselves without any crumbling or flaking, and they feel very light and fresh and sort of hydrating on the eye. Not tight, not heavy. It really feels like there's nothing on my eyes. So let's wipe these two shades off and get on with the third one. Okay, so I've wiped those two shades off now. By the way, I primed my lids with my Nars Soft Matte Concealer and I set that with my Pat McGrath powder and had no problems with the application at all. That's how I always prime my lids, and yeah, no issues, didn't do anything different. So let's try Anjelica. This is the shade that I was the most excited about. I really can barely smell anything at all, by the way. Definitely no fragrance, maybe the slightest hint of something like a sort of lotion type smell, just nothing really to notice. Very sensitive nose friendly, I would suggest. See, yes, this is like my perfect type of one and done shade for my preference. So again, I'm just going to pat the finger over the top, make sure I haven't applied too much there, get it where I want it, and again quickly sort of go around the edges with my 01 from Rephr, just to make sure there's not too much product and everything's kind of blended and where I want it before it dries down. So that's your kind of softer layer of this shade. I mean, that really doesn't need anything. I don't feel like I need to put some bronzer in the crease or use a palette. This is absolutely an ideal one and done shade. Definitely think Anjelica is my favourite of the three that I picked up, for sure. So quick and easy. That doe foot really does lend itself to just getting a coat quickly laid down, the right amount, the right size, the right amount of coverage. Very quick and easy, very beginner friendly, I would say. There's a little pat there again, and a whiz around the edges with that little brush. I'm using very light pressure, just get a bit of a blend going. So soft and pretty, very natural. Just ideal. This is an ideal everyday one and done shadow. It's what I like to wear. So now I'm going to go into the lower lash line. I think what I feel most confident doing is using my pencil brush. This is number 26 from Rephr, and just dotting it on there. And I'm just going to see how that works under the lower lash line. Yep, easy as anything. Oh. I mean, I was thinking I'd applied way too much then, but the beauty of it is that you can just blend it away. If you're working quickly, I'm just going to actually apply it straight on this time to see how easy that is to do. And the answer is very easy, and you're going to get a lot more pigment that way. So that's maybe the way to go, to actually apply it directly to the lower lash line. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that would be possible without making a massive mess, but actually that's worked nicely. I think actually doing it that way, I got a better payoff as far as the shimmer, and it wasn't as messy. It didn't go too far down or not where I wanted it. I think that's the way to go. I think just to use the applicator on that lower lash line is the way to go. That was really easy, and you get then the full shimmer effect. So this is a light layer of Anjelica. I am going to build this up and sort of get a bit more of a punchy shimmer effect, see what we can achieve with it. But that's a kind of lighter layer. And then let's build this up. I'm going to focus that extra product in the center, because that's where I want it to hit the light the most. And I'm just going to gently pat this in a little. I don't want to take too much away. I want it to stay quite impactful. I want to see how this does on the eye, on my definitely more mature eyes, whether it's going to deal okay with the lines and the creasing. Don't need much of a blend here because we've already done that. But yeah, that's definitely added a lovely bit of extra opacity and colour, and a lovely bit of extra impact, extra glow and shimmer. I'm going to pop some mascara on and then we'll be back. Okay, so here is Anjelica all dried down with a good old coat of my Charlotte Tilbury mascara. I would definitely be reaching for this. I think it's so pretty, and it was just so simple and quick and easy, but effective. I think it's such a beautiful colour, very wearable, very easy to build up, and I am super happy with it. Such a pretty shade, it really is, and just so reflective, the way it catches the light. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so my initial thoughts on these are they are very, very easy, beginner friendly, idiot proof. I'm really not a cream or liquid anything kind of fan, you guys know that. And I found them very, very easy, very foolproof. They went on beautifully. I was able to build them up. I found the doe foot easy to apply both on the upper and lower lash line, which I wasn't really expecting. I thought I needed to use a brush there, but actually the doe foot works beautifully there because it is so nice and narrow to fit snugly against that lower lash line. They built very easily, and as yet it's probably been about half an hour since I first applied this last shade, and as yet there's no creasing, separating or disappearing on my lids. I don't have oily eyelids. I know that is a big issue for lots of you. So they may wear slightly differently depending on your skin type and how oily or dry your eyelid skin is and how you prep your eyes. Obviously I shared that I always prep my eyes with concealer and set with powder, and that's what I did today, and it's looking beautiful. Just really high reflective shine, very pretty, lots of shimmer. There is zero fallout, nothing like that. It was very easy to correct as well. You do need to work quickly. That's the one thing. They dry down quickly, which is a great thing because it's how you avoid creasing and moving and smudging and all of those things. And it's hopefully why they'll wear better, but it does mean you just need to make sure they're where you want them and you've done any blending and any corrections before that happens. Otherwise it will be quite hard to move the product and get that blend if you miss the boat as far as them drying down. My favorite by a million miles is Anjelica. Yes, that's the shade I have on now. It's my absolute favorite. If I was to tell you one shade to choose, that would be the shade that I would choose, because I just think it's just me. It's just my cup of tea. I think it's such a beautiful sort of rosy, almost slight coppery shift to it. It's just stunning, right up my street. Absolutely my favorite shade. So we will keep you updated on how it wears throughout the day, whether there's any moving around, whether creasing or settling into lines happens, whether any lifting up or fading happens over the rest of the day, because that really is the key. Otherwise, if nothing bad happens from here, these are just a no-brainer. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.